Hello, friends. Brett the Comic Novice here. And as we start 2023, DC Comics is flinging us right from the closure of one event, the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, regarding how you feel about how well it went, we're here anyway at the dawn of the DCU. And we are starting us off with one of three events or mini events for 2023, and that is the Lazarus Planet. Now, I will tell you, being a comic novice reader, I know that there's many different events that have occurred, many different little small tie-ins and stuff like that. You have the Convergence, which, is generally disliked from what I've heard. I've only picked them up 25 cents in the 25-cent bin, so I haven't gotten around to reading that yet. We have the DC Rebirth, which I own many different ranges and some of the deluxe editions of, but I still haven't cracked those open. Massive collector for some reason. I guess I'm just addicted to that. Future State, which was actually the first thing that I kind of was a part of, and also with Dark Knight's Death Metal, where I basically vowed right there I was not going to ever buy any more one-shots for an event ever again. And I was very glad that I did that with the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Future State, I will tell you, was an event that was probably a reactionary thing to the cancellation of 5G, from what my understanding is. And I think it brought many fans a future look at what possibly could have happened. And then, of course, the comics basically went around and made sure that none of those storylines ever happened. So it was kind of a wasted thing. And then we have Infinite Frontier, which I feel as though was kind of a mixed bag, because when you look at it, Batman really never changed. You had James Tynion, who continued his run. I believe we started the Philip Kennedy Johnson run on Action Comics. We had the Son of Kal-El, which I guess I had some hope for, but by issue 12, totally pieced out of. And then for some reason, we had the Batman Urban Legends book that existed for some reason that I think started during that time in Infinite Frontier. Now, Future State, I hate saying this, but I think Future State and this Lazarus Planet is something that I think these things are going to be very similar. I think there's going to be a lot of buildup, a lot of discussion about what could or what's going to change or whatever. And I think at the end of the day, there's going to be some introduction. I think they're going to probably make characters, some characters a little bit more larger, so like the Monkey Prince, which I will tell you, I thoroughly am enjoying that comic. I think that is great. I think they're going to kind of reshuffle the John Kent. Be kind of curious to find out if he goes to Earth 2 or something like that. But we also have so many things that, during, January and February, we have this massive checklist that we have going on. And I will tell you, I am going to pick up the Alpha issue and the Omega issue, and I'm going to skip every single thing else and just, read the rest of it, basically a month late through the DC Infinite app that I have a subscription to, because I don't think it's worth my money, and eventually it might be worth my time, but I think with some of these events, and especially some of these tie-ins, especially with the price range, which some of these things are, I don't think that they're worth it. Now, I think I'm going into this dawn of the DCU with a lot of hope. I think what's going to happen is, we have a whole bunch of things with Superman. Obviously, you see the Brainiac tentacles that are on the main page of everything. So I think that there's going to be a couple of things going on regarding that. We have I don't like this. The Doom Patrol. It's not that I don't like the Doom Patrol. It's not that. I don't like these mini issues, these mini series. It's a 6. I was going to be in on the Doom Patrol, but it's because it's a 6 mini series, a 6 issue mini series. I think I'm just going to either just trade wait it out or just wait for the DC Universe app. You have 2 new Green Lantern books that are going to be coming out. However, we know that Mirko Tamaki is on one of them, and, love her or hate her, I feel as though certain things that I've seen, people are moving the goalpost regarding her in the DC as a writer for DC. She got on to Wonder Woman. Everybody was criticizing her for what she did to She-Hulk. And then we were like, it was okay, it was good, and then it was not that bad. And then she moves into Detective Comics, which I feel as though, and the Dark Detective, I will say, is probably one of the better Future State issues. And I feel as though she did a great job with the Dark Detective as well as the Detective Comics. And then I feel as though she was put between a rock and a hard place and had to come up with this weird Arkham Tower series that just didn't work. You can blame her for it not being a good story, but I think when it was a weekly issue thing, I don't think that was something that she ran to the people at the main office, raised her hand and said, please, please, please give me a weekly book to do. And I just, for 2 months, I think it was destined to fail. And so it'll be kind of interesting to see what she does with Hal Jordan. I believe that's what she's on. And then we do have the other Green Lantern, the John Stewart Green Lantern, that's going to be coming up a little bit later by Philip Kennedy Johnson, which I think will be very interesting. Now, what will prevent me from jumping on these books altogether is, will they be a miniseries? If they are just going to be a 6-issue miniseries, again, I'll just pick those up later in a trade, or I will just pick them up in the dollar bin a year or so later from my local comic book store. I don't want to invest my time and money on something that DC is basically saying we don't have confidence in, but we want to get this title out there. Eventually, we're going to get a Shazam book. It'll be kind of interesting to see if that an ongoing thing. I feel as though Shazam is, for as popular as the movie was, and it's probably been one of the better movies, it's a shame that they have not gotten a book out and have not really kind of focused on the trade. And then, late in 2022, we had to get the Mary Marvel Shazam, the 4-issue series that is now going to be reverting back. And the main reason why it's being reverted back is because we're going to be doing we are going to undo every single thing that was done in the Teen Titans Academy book, which was probably one of the worst books in Infinite Frontier. Probably, yeah. And so it's going to be quite interesting. I'm looking towards 2023, with hope, with optimism. I'm going to give things a chance, unless, DC basically tells me that maybe I shouldn't give them a chance because of what they're doing, what they're saying regarding the 6-issue mini. I'm going to be curious to see what Joshua Williamson does with the new Superman book. Again, Doom Patrol, 6-issue mini. We have the winner of the Round Robins, which is not a Batman book, which is Superboy. I'm kind of intrigued, but at the same time, I'm also not. So you have so many different things that are going. You have the Brave and the Bold. I'm not sure what to make of that. I possibly hopeful. So I think it's going to be a mixed bag. I'm interested in the ride, intrigued for what's to come. I'm, again, very optimistic about what's going to happen, and I am very hopeful that it will be successful and that DC as a company and also as the comic line, it basically improves, because currently right now I'm reading Batman from the 80s and I'm reading some early 2000s Superman, which again is it's just fun. You know what? That's what comics need to be. They need to be fun. From the previous video that I did, the 10 things that, are great about the modern comic era. Yeah, there's some great things. There's some not so great things. Focus on the great things and focus on the great things from the past and do those again. From what I've seen from Marvel, they have a couple, I have Chris Claremont doing miniseries that are echoing back to when he was, at the helm of the X-Men or X-Force writer. I don't know. I haven't read any of those. You have, not Larry David, the other David guy. You have him who is doing these Hulk minis and these other minis that, from when he was doing certain things. Like, why can't we get something from that for the DC line? Why can't we focus in on, the classic era? Like, why do we have to constantly be altering, changing, and making brand new stuff? Why can't we enjoy and kind of delve into is it because that people don't want it? Is it because that all these crises have created a problem? haven't they unfixed some problems now? I don't know. Comment down below. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. What do you think about the dawn of the DCU? Are you hopeful like me, optimistic, hopeful, optimistic, I guess you could say? And yeah, thanks. Comments, like, subscribe, whatever. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the feedback. I do read them. And, I'm very open-minded regarding everything. So thank you for that. And until next time, I will see you in the dollar bin.